In the webinar you are about to watch, myself and Michael Thorne, who runs a real estate corporation, talk all about AI. We give you a baseline of what AI is, how it can be really beneficial to your business, what AI is good at, and how you partner with it to continue to bring the humanity. We also really narrow down to the end of it, talking about how AI fits with video and give you a teaser on some things that BombBomb has coming really, really soon in the AI space. Take a look. Hey, good morning, everybody. I know everybody's starting to pour in here. I always say good morning because it's morning my time. I'm in Colorado. I'm mountain time. I realize like we've got people all over the place. We've got people all over not only the country and the beautiful country of Canada that's going to be well represented with our guest today. But happy whatever time of day it is for you. I'm so excited that you're here. We love having you here. If you want to, just a fun thing we always do when we're jumping into these and waiting for people to get, all the technical stuff set up, hop into chat and start throwing where you're coming from, just because it's always really fun to see where are we getting people from, where are people joining us from. We've already got some people from New York. We've got people from all over the place. Ottawa, there we go. See, we've already got Canada really early represented. So I'm going to give it a second here, let everybody jump in. We've already got a couple hundred people, so thank you for being here. So excited, not only for the topic today, but our guest that I'm going to introduce in just a second here, and just really glad that you are here. So quick housekeeping stuff just to get out of the way. Number one, yes, we will be recording this webinar. I know that will still get chatted and asked later because it always does, but we are recording it. Rest assured, if you need to jump early, if we breeze through something that you're like, wait a second, I want to watch that again, we've always got the recordings up on our YouTube channel in a few days, and we'll always send you an email with that recording as well. So just know that we've got it recorded. The second thing is, it is, if you've been here before, I know there's a lot that have not attended one of these before, we're huge on conversation in these. This is not about just come sit and listen to talking heads for an hour. That's not fun for everybody. That gets boring really quick. So use the chat that's already rolling here for conversation. We have the most amazing people that
It's
come to these
incredible.
webinars.
It's
Literally,
incredible how much the interaction already is. It's
it's
amazing.
insane. So
Yeah.
throw stuff in for the chat. Now, there's two options. The chat is really good for if you want to get perspective from other people here, because we have some experts that come and use video regularly, are using AI tools like we're going to be talking about today. Please throw your expertise in there. Ask questions in there. Our community is amazing. We've got the greatest people around. So please throw that in the chat. Now, as you saw, the chat gets cruising real fast. We've got a couple hundred people in here. So if you don't want something to be lost, if you want something to make sure that Michael and I can see it, I'm going to be monitoring our QA. So look at the QA button at the bottom as well. That's a great place to just throw some questions in that you're like, oh, I just don't want this to be breezed over. Now, one last quick technical thing just to give you guys some expectations on this webinar, and then I'm going to introduce Michael, and then we're going to jump into content right away because I want to make this, we've got a lot to go over, and I wanted to make this really valuable for you. This is not going to be nearly as much of a technical walkthrough of BombBomb and a video. So if that's what you're looking for today, please stick around. We want you here regardless, but I want to make sure you're not looking at us 20 minutes in going, well, you haven't even showed us the program. That's not really what we're going to be talking about. We're talking more high level. We're talking about AI stuff. We're talking about some roadmap, future things. So we've got some really exciting stuff to announce later in this webinar. But I just want to give that overview up front. So if that's not what you're looking for, totally understand. You can watch the recording on a later time or stick with us. And I guarantee you're going to learn something new that you haven't learned. But just like to give those expectations up front. So with all that being said, before I even share my screen or anything, you guys are seeing a wonderful face on screen here. I am so thrilled, so excited. If you've been with BombBomb for a while, you may have even seen or met Michael before. He has been a huge friend of BombBomb. I'm going to say family. He's part of the BombBomb family for sure. You may have even been involved with BombBomb longer than I have at this point.
I think probably.
It's been a long time. But Michael Thorne, please introduce yourself. Give us just a quick overview, who you are, how you got introduced to video, what you're using it for. Just give us some quick basics there.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Michael Thorne. I'm a 32-year real estate vet. I work on an amazing team with two other incredible agents, Jorda and Trish, and our amazing assistant, Jody. I live about 30 minutes east of the incredible city of Vancouver, British Columbia, the real Vancouver, not the fake one that people say that's in Washington State. This is the real one. We've got the real one. And yeah, so our team is so hyper focused and always have been on customer experience, on creating these moments, in real estate world, and maybe a lot of people not real estate, they're in other businesses. the internet changed the value proposition for a lot of industries. And it certainly did for the real estate industry. They used to have to come to us to get the data, to get the information. That was our value proposition. We have information you don't have, you need us. And when that was taken away from us, it was such a huge blessing for our team, because then we could focus on what was differentiating ourselves at the time, which was client experience. And always focused on client experience. When you're out at a restaurant and you have a great evening, you need to stop and identify, what was it? What was it about that evening that made it so special? And how can I apply that lesson to how I make other people feel? And so I was a very early adapter with video, started a web show. We ran 120 episodes of this great web show, and people kept on saying, Michael, you need to have BombBomb on. You need to have BombBomb on. And I didn't know what BombBomb was. So I reached out to BombBomb and said, look, you're like the most requested topic. And a man by the name of Ethan, which a lot of you might know, sent me my very first BombBomb. And he said, hi, Michael. That's what he said in the video. And I was instantly hooked. This idea that something so personable was delivered so easily for me to consume. And in that moment, I was like, oh, I get this. I know how I feel right now as the recipient of a BombBomb. And therefore, it was so easy to see how it is applied. And I will tell you, I think I've got thousands, maybe hundreds, but maybe thousands of emails saying that is my favorite email I've ever received. And the only thing different is it's got a little bit more of me in it. And that's my journey. That's what we're focused on. That's why I love BombBomb. Power user, whatever you want to call it. Anytime I have to give good news or bad news that I can't give in person, it's done in video.
Well, and I love that intro as we jump into the topic today, because I think there's kind of a push and pull with almost exactly what you just said and what we're talking about with AI today. I mean, so many people, whether you are in real estate, like a salesperson for an enterprise corporation, a big company, whether you're doing so many different things, right? You could be kind of a solopreneur like a real estate agent is required to be, or you're more in a lane of marketing, of sales, of HR. It really doesn't matter. I think all of us are trying to understand exactly how does this all fit together? How do we put AI and still focus on customer experience and still
Yeah.
bring more of us? And that's
Yeah.
really high level what we're going to be talking about today. Here's kind of our quick high level overview so you guys can expect what we're going to cover within this hour. We're going to start off with just kind of a funny little exercise that I was playing with as I was planning this of what does AI actually think of AI itself? And I started asking some questions and doing some stuff there and playing. But really, where we're going to focus on more than anything is where does AI excel? Where is it really good at? So you can start thinking about how does this work for me? Why AI can't replace you and can't replace so much of what Michael just said of the you in the conversation, why you are still integral into this. And then really, we're going to talk about how does AI and video kind of work together? How do AI and you partner to make sure that you're using it in the best ways possible? And also it's enhancing what you're doing. So we're going to talk about it with video. And then that last piece there, AI and BombBomb. If you're a BombBomb user, oh my gosh, you're going to be thrilled about some of the stuff we're going to announce. We are teasing some things that are not going to be out quite yet, but you guys are getting VIP early access to understanding what is on the quick soon roadmap here as we jump into that. And how is AI going to help you with your video creation? And more than that, how is it going to help you with the effectiveness of the videos that you're sending out so that you can be really proud about the content and some of those sort of things. So real quick here, and I'll breeze through this really quickly, but I think it's a good level set. I always like to build a nice baseline for everybody on kind of what is AI. So I actually went in and I was using ChatGPT specifically. I think that's probably one of the most common ones that everybody knows. We're not going to sit here, just so you know, and say, here's the programs you have to use. There are hundreds and thousands of AI programs out there for all sorts of different things. You may hear us. I know, Michael, you use ChatGPT a lot as well. So we'll probably talk a lot with that terminology, but there's amazing ones. Claude is a really great one for work
Love Claude.
usage. Perplexity is a wonderful one as well. So these are just some big ones. Again, we're not promoting, we're not paid by these companies. These are just things that we have found to be helpful for us in our work. And we may talk to those as well, but we're not going to necessarily say you got to use this program or this program or this program. Everybody's going to kind of find their own ones. So this is what ChatGPT gave to me. And as I read it, I was like, oh, that's a pretty good kind of way to go. So just our quick understanding, because AI is such a broad term used these days. It's technology that helps computers learn patterns, understand language, and assist with tasks. Kind of like a smart assistant. It doesn't think or feel like we do, but it's great at helping you move faster, write more clearly, and stay organized. If you've used autocomplete, voice assistants, auto-generated captions, you've already used AI. So a lot of us have used elements of AI in all sorts of different things. Uh,
Kevin, can I interrupt one very interesting
please.
thing
Yeah.
that is very interesting? So this was written by AI, right? Wrote
Hmm.
this paragraph.
Yeah.
See that dash between captions and you've already used AI,
Hmm.
right? That's called, and I only know this now because I noticed it. That's called an M dash, an EM dash. And it is a very common AI form of writing that we typically don't write with. And
Hmm.
these are the little indicators that people are going to start to learn to no matter how you personalize AI content, there'll be warning signals that it is AI generated, like the word delve is AI generated. And
Oh,
so I
interesting.
don't
Okay.
write with an M dash, I write with an ellipses, dot, dot, dot. And I have gone into my AI and says never ever use an M dash because it's a giveaway. It was AI generated. Only ever use an ellipses. And we are going to start to, as human beings, find these telltale signs of is it human or is it not? Going back to BombBomb, the things that you can't cover up. This M dash is going to be a dead giveaway to a lot of AI created stuff, and we will start to learn as society the telltale signs of something that isn't real. Now, of course, it'll continue to get better, and
Yeah.
we'll be able to hide those things. But it's very, very interesting that these little things that I never noticed before are starting to affect the way we perceive a communication, whether it's authentic or not.
That's a great point. I didn't even know that. I've noticed that I see it a lot as I receive content. I'm having those conversations, but it's funny. I was looking through chat while you were just talking, and they were like, I use the M dash, I use the M dash, and poor
Yeah.
Emily's like, rip to us who love those, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you used it, you used it, but now AI is using it, and now you might want to, you know what I mean? It's just interesting
Yeah.
that we have to be aware of almost these, and we talked about this the other day, Kevin. These sort of proof of life moments in the way we communicate, and it's
Yeah.
just it's incredible,
Yeah.
incredible.
But thinking about that, and we're going to talk into some best practices as we get into this. Also, Michael was like, I'm going to give a prompt to not use these. And it
Yeah.
can adjust those things and take that. And I was seeing, I think it was Steve, somebody else just put in, I like to instruct it to always put a space in between those because then it feels less AI and more like what I typically
Yes.
do, right? So
Yep. Yep.
totally, you can use this and
Yep.
adapt it. But man, this awareness and this us
Mm.
continually learning the programs, super cool
Yep.
as well. So I went, the next question I got to ask here is how is AI helpful for people in their work? And it literally was just like, bloop, here's five things.
Yep.
Uh, and I think these are really interesting. We're going to dive a little bit more into how you can start to analyze this for your workflow, but just look at these kind of headliners. We don't need to read the full paragraphs there, but saves time on repetitive tasks for sure. We're going to cover that. I'm not going to dwell on that much here. Improves communication and clarity. I think a lot of us already see that with these LLMs. The LLMs are the language systems, right? That we're using like the chat GPTs and those sort of things. Levels the playing field. I think that's a really interesting one as we start to analyze how does this help us. I was telling Michael when we were having a conversation yesterday about, man, I was asked to do a task of something I'd never done before. And I was sitting there going, where do I start? How do I do this? I was able to use it to level me up massively on this specific task to be able to put something out that was really effective there. Unlocks creativity. I think we'll see how that's going. And then the boost confidence piece. That's one that I've experienced. I mean, that specific project in general was really helpful. But we're going to talk about this specific to video as well, about how you can use it to kind of boost confidence. So again, this is just some fun questions to ask to see how self recognizing AI is of its strengths and weaknesses and some of those sort of things. But then, of course, this is the big question with AI. I was like, let's just ask it. Let's just see what happens. Should AI replace human jobs? And what's so funny is it literally said, no, AI is not built to be replacing jobs. It is going to reshape them. And that's what we're going to talk a lot about today, right? I've heard so many different examples. And I'm not going to show you a video in a little bit here from Seth Godin, who has a metaphor on this. But, think about Michael, especially in your world in real estate, when the internet came out. The internet changed everything for
Mhm,
everybody. But,
mhm.
people that were in the game before that were literally picking up MLS books of all the listings and faxing documents back and forth. Boom, instantly changed. If you said I'm not moving with that, there's no way you're around today, right? That's just what it is. And AI is that impactful, if not potentially more. So, uh,
And I agree. But the big thing is faster. When you really
mhm.
go back and you look at the evolution of the internet, it allowed us to have about 10 years before we started to get comfortable. It gave us time to sort of get comfort. Between 1995 and 2005, the internet was in that 1.0 website world. It gave us time. This will not give us time. It
Mhm.
is going to double and triple here in the next couple of years, and it's that speed that is going to be the most disruptive, and not necessarily the technology, but the speed will be disruptive.
Well, and what a great point. And think about how fast we weren't really talking about AI, what, 2 years ago, three
Yeah,
years ago, really?
exactly.
And now it's everywhere. It's
Yeah,
everything. It's the future of everything, right?
yeah.
So the main thing and kind of the theme that you're going to hear Michael and I talk a lot about that I just want to hone in on early so we can continue to reinforce it is that AI should not replace you. It should enhance you. That is where we're going to live so much of this. I know there's a lot of conversation, and we'll see if we get into this at all with AI avatars and all sorts of different things like that. I'm not here to say one way or the other what's right, what's wrong. Again, this is a spectrum. There is a lot of different opinions on all of these things. But my philosophy, and Michael, you and I talked about this, and I think we look at AI very similarly as we don't want to replace you by using AI. Sure, that can help from a time perspective, it can help from an efficiency perspective, but we still firmly believe with that customer experience in mind, that connection, you need to be a part of that, right? You need to be a piece of that. And so we want to continue to talk about that. And that's going to be a lot of the direction that we talk about today. If you believe otherwise, throw it in chat. Let's have discussions. Let's have debates on this. Again, I don't know the right or wrong. I know my opinion on a lot of these things. So I want to make sure that we continue to do that. So I thought it would be fun to start with some stats and stuff. And Michael, if you've got some additional stuff, I know when we were talking yesterday, you are so knowledgeable on this. Please feel free to throw some things in. But I think there's a question that a lot of people have is how prevalent is AI? How much are people really using it? So I wanted to pull some data so that you can all see how integrated is this into kind of everyday work. So with some different studies and some different resources and things, these are some of the numbers that I was able to pull. 75% of people are using AI to some degree at work right now. That's a lot of people. So if you're sitting there going, yeah, I'm using it, I'm part of that group, awesome. Continue to learn. This is going to be a constant learning process. If you're not, I do want this to potentially be a challenge. And we're going to give you some guidelines on how you can think, how could this benefit me? Be curious in this conversation because I want to see you, like Michael said, how fast things are moving, that we continue to keep up and stay with that. 46% of people started using AI in the last 6 months. Speed, holy cow, right? A lot of people are jumping on and trying to find out the ways to do this and use it. So a lot of new people are continuing to come into this. 92% of companies plan to invest more in AI in the next 3 years. High level companies, Fortune 500, big level companies are going, we have to figure out how we integrate this if we're not fully doing it. If we are doing it, we're going to invest more. If not, we're going to keep going on that. And then 15% of US workers specifically are using AI on a daily basis. So, man, I mean, to me, I just look at that and go, wow, it really has already, to your point again, Michael, with that speed, it's already gotten integrated into a lot of people's lives on a very, very mass scale.
Yeah, and Kevin, on that note, AI has been around a long, long time. What hasn't been around a long time is generative AI, which is different things. Your Netflix prediction of what show you should watch next is
Mm.
artificial intelligence. It's analyzing data, it's running all the numbers, it's its best guess of your because you watch this, you're likely to watch that. What has changed is generative AI. And a lot of us, I think, are using artificial intelligence throughout their day that aren't answering surveys in the right answer because they're not aware that AI is involved in their interaction.
Mhm.
And when I look at service people, people that are using BombBomb to serve people to enhance their relationships, I think the best use of AI is a high level of AI use in your business that the consumer or the person on the other side doesn't know is happening.
Hmm.
That to me is great AI. So people say 15% of people are using AI daily. I think it's dramatically higher of that because you're not aware that you're using it if it's good. If it's good, you're not
Hmm.
aware that it's there, that it's impacting your day to day, and that's the difference between AI and what we are living in this new world, generative AI, where it's generating something new specifically for us. And so I think AI used well is goes unnoticed in the consumer experience part of it.
Okay, so one, to not go off on too much of a tangent, but I think it's an important topic that we talk about with AI in general is sort of the ethical side of it. Where do we fall on how ethical does this feel? You mentioned I don't know your exact words you just said, but where the consumer doesn't necessarily recognize it. I
Yeah,
know yesterday when we were talking too, and this will come up later, we both very much believe like don't lie to your consumers either. Don't try
yep,
to trick your consumers using AI and those sort of things.
yep.
So will you clarify a little bit on what you meant specifically with that, where your consumers don't see it directly or don't necessarily know about it? What, give an example or something around that?
Yeah. And this is a very
I know
it's
it's a
the
big
pra-
question.
yeah, no, it's great. So it's the Pareto principle that most people know about. 20% of your activities produce 80% of the results. And you should know these things. No matter what business you're in, you need to know what that 20% is that produces 80% of the results. That's where your time is best spent. Your time. Now, the other 80% of your business are still functions of your business that only produce 20% of the results. But the 80% is still part of what you need to get done day to day, week to week, month to month, right? And so if you were to analyze those two things, there's much high dollar value in those high producing 20% than the 80% of the back end stuff. And I think if you analyze what you do, the 80% of stuff that still needs to get done is stuff that AI is really, really good at, right? That's the efficiency part. It's not high producing income stuff, but needs to be taken care of. In a real estate world, those are things like doc prep, business planning, SOPs, time management, uh, market analysis, all these sort of things. Where my value is, my 20% that creates 80% of the income, is sitting across the table from a nervous first time home buyer,
Hmm.
reaching out and delivering a bomb, wishing someone a happy birthday, or can't believe it's your 10-year anniversary living in your home. These relationship aspects of it is what generates me the most amount of income. That's the stuff AI isn't really good at. And you don't want AI to do those things anyway.
Hmm.
But streamlining this back end system, making this efficiency, and in 2025 and through 2026, and we're jumping all over the place with AI agents. If my back end system is so efficient that I've freed up 3 hours every day so I can do that 20% two and a half more times, my client is completely unaware that I've streamlined my back end, that have created enormous efficiencies,
Hmm.
or that the Instagram reel post that I am recording was perfectly written from an AI prompt that analyzed one of my blog posts and created 50 Instagram reel scripts in my voice that are ready to be put into the teleprompter. I can knock out 6 months worth of Instagram reel scripts that deliver entertainment, information, and education to the consumer. If it's authentically written in my voice and I am delivering that to camera on a teleprompter, the public doesn't understand that it was AI generated because it's so authentically me. And
Hmm.
so the efficiency goes through the roof. And
Yeah.
so that creates this ability. You need to know your business. It's like if you don't understand your value, if you don't understand your why you're doing this you got to start there. There's certain places that you can't jump ahead,
Yeah.
but you need to look at your business and go, what is that 20% that is the most valuable thing? Automate $17 an hour work, focus on the $275 an hour work. That's
Yeah.
what you should really be doing.
Well, and it's interesting. And Ronaldo was just saying, hey, I'm continuing to be curious about AI with video specifically, since that's what this webinar we're narrowing down to as we continue to develop this. I mean, I
Yep.
think this is one of the first ways that I look at how AI is beneficial is if AI can offload some of that $15, $20 an hour work and
Yep.
allow you to lean in on where you are more present and more human. One of the biggest excuses, and I'm using the term excuses very deliberately, that people don't do video is I don't have enough time. They
Yeah.
have something in their head thinking video is going to take a long time. I don't have time to do it. Now, for those of you that are doing more of these one-to-one personal style videos that we talk about with BombBomb and that BombBomb really leans into, we know it doesn't really take that long, but we have something in our heads that video takes time. Well, if we're freeing up time with other things that we don't have to do, it doesn't give us that excuse anymore. It allows us to go, man, we've got to do it. Now, we're going to talk in a handful of slides here about how it's also going to help us save time in the videos we're doing and our preparation and some of those sort of things. But to me, I immediately go, those are the things we need to be leaning into. The videos are the pieces that are connective, are human. We want to make sure that we are really leaning in and helping everybody to understand how they can save themselves that time by not analyzing spreadsheets for 4 hours and leaning into the
Yeah.
human elements and the human qualities.
And there's something that I talk about and I teach. It's called step back prompting. This idea of step back prompting. So if we want to say create a drip campaign of emails that will include a BombBomb video
Mm,
that for first time home buyers, that's not as effective as to step back and tell ChatGPT or Gemini, do some deep research on the main fears, objections, hurdles, concerns, hesitations of first time homebuyers. Go off and do that research. Now say, based on that knowledge, create a 5 series email of the script that should be in the email in the body and what should be said in those BombBomb videos to
mm,
address that education about what those nervous points are. If we can learn to anticipate a really good listing presentation, and I know not everyone is in the real estate world, a great listing presentation to me is one that addresses all the person's concerns sitting across the table from me before we get to the do you have any questions section.
mm.
Because if you're able to address the concern that they're having before they announce it, they go, this guy gets me. He understands what I'm going through. He gets me. And so, looking at BombBomb, one of the things that the prompt campaign had all the time is gave you an example of what you can say. And I agree with you. BombBomb is full of excuses. People using it as not excuses. But one of the excuses is, what should I say? But large language models like ChatGPT knows what BombBomb is, knows what should be done in text and what should be in the video, and gave you those scripts for both of those. You really have no excuses when you can build out these campaigns. But by employing a step back prompting style is to discover what you're trying to achieve, what pain point you're trying to solution first, and then create the drip campaign or the messaging or the information, the education based on those pain points.
Mm,
I mean, the quality just goes through the roof, opposed to just saying create a drip campaign about
yeah.
5 things nervous first time home buyers are about. So
Well,
just
and what a great
that's a
step
great
back.
use case for Bombay.
And honestly, something we've talked about forever is part of building the human element in communication is stopping and thinking about what does this recipient need from this message, not why do I need to send it, right?
Yes.
And this is to your point exactly, Michael, of going like, oh shoot, I need a campaign for, whatever industry you're in. I've got somebody who submitted a form online and wants to know about my product. Great, I
Yeah.
need 5 emails to respond to that person. Okay, no, what are the questions that a new person to my product would want to know, is curious about? What are the pains they might be looking to solve? Ask these questions, get reference on that, and then you start to build the content and the scripting and the bullet points and the things you want to put in your videos, from that point directly. So,
Yeah.
um, summarizing some of this stuff, I did throw up some of the stats on is this helpful? I'm not going to cover that because you guys could read it as we were talking more and more. But really, just a summary of what we're learning about all of this is AI adoption is real and rapid. Michael, to your point earlier, your competitors are using it right now, not in the future. They are using it right now. So that's something to continue to tell yourself and remind yourself as you're looking into this. The impact is undeniable. It's more productive. It's greater confidence, higher job satisfaction, all of that. But there still is a lot of room to lead and differentiate in this because we're all constantly learning. I mean, something could come out tomorrow that Michael and I have never heard of, and we're going to
Yeah.
have to learn it, and we're going to have to
And
grow on that.
it will come out tomorrow.
Oh yeah, totally. And then it'll another one the next day, and another one the next
Yeah.
day. So
Yeah.
so let's talk about a little bit, and we've sort of covered some of these things just as we've been, having this conversation. But where AI excels, and the reason I wanted to point this out is because, again, if we're looking at AI as an enhancement tool, is how it can enhance you, we've got to know its strengths. Just like if you're hiring a new employee at your company, or you're working alongside, or you have a manager or a boss. What are their strengths? What can I learn from them? How can we work together to build this? So some of the top areas really go hand in hand with kind of what AI saw in itself as well. But obviously, writing and communication. We've talked about a lot of those examples. So I don't know that we need to dive a ton into this from the emails, messages, social posts. I do think there's a really interesting thing that I've used it before of as I've been working more with the product team and our engineering team, there's a lot of things that are said that are not in my brain and in my wheelhouse. And I can take some of that content and have it help me clarify and understand, right? That's a way you can use it from a communication standpoint. I have it proofread content all the time. I love speaking. I feel like I speak well. When it comes to writing, my grammar is not awesome. So
Yeah.
look at this. How clear am I? How can I be more concise than this? How can this be a clearer thing? Give it those prompts, pull the content in, and it'll review it and give you something really, really quickly. So a great way to use that. Administration and time saving tasks. Michael, you sort of mentioned this a little bit as you were going through some stuff as well. One of the ways that I love using it is summarizing meetings. And a lot of programs have some of these tools built in. Zoom, for example, for those of you who use it, has AI meeting recordings where it'll give you a summary of everything and your next steps and your talking points and those things. Is it perfect? Of course not. You always need to be reviewing it and looking at it. But if you maybe forgot something, it might have it in there and that can really, really help. Um, Organizing calendars, prepping agendas, prioritizing tasks. Oh my gosh, I never would have thought. I bring my list of things I got to get done this week in here. Hey, can you help me prioritize this and schedule this week? Great. I can even show it my calendar and say, here's my gaps. What times should I put things in? Again, it's just a little assistant kind of administrative things that if we all had assistants helping us, we could potentially have them do. The number three one is where I have probably used it the absolute most is brainstorming and ideation. I think one of the hardest things with any project, maybe it's sitting down and recording a video, is where do I start? It's that first 10 meters in the 100-meter dash. How
Yep.
do I get that start and that help? And my gosh, it's really, really cool. I've sat down and literally just wrote, here's what I'm working on. Here's all the ideas I've got going into my brain. Will you give me some ideas of where to get going? Will you give me a baseline? And
Yep.
then you keep going back and forth, but generating outlines for content, those first 5 steps, that first 10 meters. I even use it for webinars sometimes, going, how can I format some of this content? Here's my ideas. Here's what I want to do. How do I format in a way that's going to be beneficial to people? And it can help you kind of organize that. Michael, have you used it for a lot of that idea of things? I mean, the ideation
All
happens with everything you were talking about, but
all of that. I mean, I call it the 80-15-5 principle.
mm,
AI is very good at getting you from a blank page to 80% real fast. Um, I look back at my university days, and if someone handed me a perfectly structured outline for every essay I had to write, and all I had to do was turn that outline into a finished essay, it would have been a huge time saver, right? And
yeah.
so the next 15 in that five is you. You got to make sure things are your personality. It's in your voice. It's fact checked. It's free of biases. Listen,
Mm,
AI was trained on human information, and humans are full of bias, and that will come out in the outputs. And it is your responsibility to make sure that that's accurate. And then what we get into is to the end is giving it back this finished product, this 95 finished product, and saying, convince me that this can be better. And when it comes from a computer, it's not as humbling as when it comes from Jordan, my business partner, saying, yeah, you need to fix this and this. It always kind of stings a little bit. But convince me that it can be better. Take up a contrary opinion. Do not please me. Don't try to make me happy, make me better. And it will always come up with ways of streamlining things that maybe you didn't think about. Now, if it gives you 7 and you implement 3, it's still a worthwhile project.
yeah.
And so the big part is the 80%. It's just remarkable at getting you to 80%.
Well, and we'll get into this a little bit with best practices, but something, Michael, that you and I talked about yesterday is how do you continue to give it more information about you, your voice, your company, so that you can build up so that that first 80 is even more accurate, even more
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah.
Man, that's as I've started to learn more and more of that rather than just starting from blank every single time.
Yep.
There's a lot of power in some of that as well. So,
There's so much enormous power into that. And one of the things you shared a stat, the amount of people that are using AI day to day. I think the question will be a lot different. How many people are using it super effectively
mm,
day to day? It's
Sure.
very different. If you think ChatGPT is the box, the Google box, if you think that's what ChatGPT is, you don't have a clue about what AI is, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. The opportunities are so much larger than that. When we're talking about custom instructions, we're talking about custom GPTs, projects, memory, not only chat memory but saved memory. Giving it this information. It's remarkable. You can have 5, 6, 7 digital employees working in your business right now by leveraging projects and the custom instructions and the knowledge files that are in there. And so one of the things is, we hear people in the chat going, "Oh, this is getting the." Kevin and I could talk for 12 hours and I will show you something that will blow your mind. And that's the hard part about this is how do we concisely get people to understand what it is and what it isn't and how to use it because it's so big. But if you are using any large language model, Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, Grok, and you're only using the chat box, you're using it wrong.
Well,
Or I
and
should say, you're missing a huge opportunity. Let me say it that way.
yeah, there's just I think it's it's like anything new, right? There's always a learning curve. We start by just chatting stuff in, and then we go, oh, I can build a project. Oh, I can add and upload a bunch of files and add links to things that give it more context. And as you continue to build that up, it all
Yep.
of a sudden understands you more effectively. Now,
Yeah.
one quick clarification to be very aware of, because I've had to learn this massively. If you work for a company, be very cautious about the content that you are putting into the systems, right? Just a general be careful because you do not want to be putting sensitive information that should not be out in the world, whether it's
Samsung.
client information, whether it's data, whether it's whatever you're putting in for it to analyze or read. Be careful. And if you don't know, ask your
Yeah.
IT team, ask whoever it is that would be good to reference this, because honestly, these systems are built to use all of the content that's put into it to help everyone. And that could get out if somebody knows what they're doing. So make sure, be safe, be secure with all of these things as we're continuing to learn it. Just one little caveat that I think is worth talking
Agreed.
about. So when you're starting to look at this, and some of these things were already mentioned, so we don't need to spend a ton of time on this, but I think a lot of people ask, where can it help me specifically? And we're going to get into the AI and how it can help video specifically and what BombBomb is doing it in a second here. But just some quick ways. Michael already mentioned the Pareto principle, the 20-80%. Really start thinking about it in that 80%, right? The 20% of the work that's giving you so much outcome is where you need to live. That is where your time is well spent. The
Agreed.
80% of analyzing spreadsheets and doing administrative work and taking notes on meetings and whatever it may be, those are potential areas that you can use these kind of solutions for that can help you out a lot. Michael, you mentioned this yesterday, this idea of self-reflection, of really sit
Yeah.
down, look at
Yeah.
your business, look at your role within your company, the stuff
Yeah.
you have to do day to day, and go, what am I good at? What am I
Yeah.
not good at? What are some
Yeah.
of my weaknesses? Not only are the weaknesses potentials for having AI help you in those, they're going to help you grow and learn in those if you use it effectively and use it right. But
Mhm.
also, it allows you to spend time on those strengths and be more effective in those areas. I think another question you had mentioned yesterday, Michael, was what just drains me? What just sucks my energy dry? I can do it, I can be effective in it, but man, I do not enjoy it. Great
Yeah. I
opportunity.
mean, I'll give you a perfect example of that. If there's men out there that don't love to go to the spa for whatever reason, and you need like every man uh, should on their bucket list do a made to measure suit in their lives. I mean, you just owe it to yourself in a bucket list thing to go and get a custom made suit. And I do this every couple years. I go and I have a really great day. And my friend of mine says, there's this new shop. It's unbelievable. You got to go get your suit done there. So I went down to their shop and it was an unbelievable experience the entire time. It was amazing from every moment of it. I loved it. I loved it. I would have paid the $3,000 just for that hour to hang out with Zachary. And as I was leaving, he said, Michael, is there any way you could put, we're a shop, we're just getting started. Could you put a Google review out there for us? I hate the written word, Kevin. You know it. That's why I'm such a BombBomb power user. I'm good at this, and I hate the written word. But I wanted to do something nice for this guy, so I'm in the car. I'm driving home from Vancouver, half an hour drive, and I went, oh. So I opened up the advanced voice mode, which all of you guys should be using in whatever it is, and I just told AI the story like I would have told my wife over a glass of wine in the backyard that night. Just told, this is what happened, and then this is what happened, and then this is what happened. I just told the story. And I just talked like a human being because I'm really bad at writing, right? I hate it. And then at the end of it, I said, hey, can you take that story that I just told you? Can you write like the ultimate Google review for Zachary and his company? And it put out an amazing review because I was the knowledge base. I was the foundation of that information, but I was able to offload something I hate doing. Now, Valerie Garcia, if anyone knows Valerie Garcia, she's one of the greatest speakers in the real estate industry. She's a phenomenal author. We're Going to Need Cake is a great book. She would never offload writing a Google review about a great experience because AI could never do it as well as she does it. So not only should you be self-reflective of what you're good at, start offloading those things. Find a way to make it go easy for what you do. And that's just a quick example. But the advanced voice mode in all these AIs is a game changer. I mean, go for a walk with your dog and create an ebook. That addresses all the pain points of your consumer. It is unbelievably huge opportunity.
Yeah, I love that story. And it's funny, as you were talking, people are throwing their stories of just fun things they've done with it in a lot of personal situations. Somebody was mentioning I planned a trip to Europe with ChatGPT and helped me pick all the things I wanted to see. Somebody's
Yep.
like, I use it every week to buy my groceries and tell me what stores to go to get the best deals and stuff. There's so
Yep.
many endless, we can sit here for
Endless.
hours
Endless.
with this.
Endless. Yeah.
So look in chat. If you're curious of just fun, maybe personal ways you could transfer to your work stuff, look in there. Some quick tips that I want to jump in before we get into
By the way, sorry, Kevin, to
yeah,
interrupt. Keep the questions coming. I know they're sitting there. We're going to answer them, but keep them in the Q&A. I love this. I love Q&A, and I know that we're going to get to it because I don't have a heart out today. But keep them coming. We'll get to them. I know
there
people
we
are like,
go. And
answer
I've
my
been answering
question.
a few, but yes, keep
Yeah,
them coming. And
keep them
honestly,
coming.
some of the questions that have been in Q&A have been answered in chat by other people
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
of course.
So keep
Yeah.
throwing those in. But yes, thank you for reminding that. I think this is an important element to think about just in using AI. It can feel really daunting. It can feel overwhelming on how do I do this effectively? And that's why we use it like a Google search, right? Because we don't know what else to do. So some things that I think are really important and to keep looking at, and Michael, please chime in and add a lot to these because you have. We've talked about prompting a lot. The biggest things that I think are good is be descriptive, be full in that prompting. Don't go, hey, I need a 5 email campaign for this and expect it to be everything you want it to be. It won't. So
Mhm.
give it the description, give it context, give it what role you want it to take in how it's doing it. Give it the audience
Huge,
that you're reaching
huge,
out to.
Kevin. Huge, Kevin. Persona
Mhm.
is such a huge part of the 6 elements that go into a perfect prompt. Start prompting it and give it a role. Tell it isn't an expert in a certain field with these strengths with 20 years worth of experience. Just telling it that will get it to only take the cream and not give you the whole, right? It just starts to take the cream off the top. A prompt persona is invaluable when it comes to prompting. Sorry to interrupt.
No, and I think it's good. Like take one or two of these things to start with. You're not going to implement all of this the first time you hop in. Annie, I just saw you put in, where do I start? Is there a website? What do I do? Sorry, I'm completely new at this. I love that you're here, Annie. That's amazing. There's a ton of different websites. The one that we're mentioning a lot is ChatGPT. It's a very well-known one that's been around for a handful of years. What's the website for that, Michael? Is it OpenAI?
No, I think it's chatgpt.com now
Is
because
it? Okay.
it's OpenAI is the parentship, but I think it's just
Okay. So
chatgpt.com.
Annie, that could be a fun way to just start. Just literally type in
And
OpenAI or
never ever
ChatGPT and
pay
see where it goes.
for an app. I've seen so many people I get off stage, and there's a bunch of people that want to show up and they say, "Hey, I've bought this app. Is this the right one?" There's a lot of ones in the App Store that look like ChatGPT. You never have to pay for an app
Mhm.
because you're going to have a ChatGPT account. Never ever pay at the App Store for any large language model. Please don't do that.
There we go. So think about that with your prompting. Prompting is arguably one of the most important things on how this can be effective. The other thing that I want to throw in there that I don't know that I wrote is, oh, actually, I've got it on the next slide, so we'll get into it because I stole one of Michael's quotes he told me yesterday. But we'll keep going with this. Challenge everything. Ask it for its reasoning once it gives you an answer. Don't just take everything it said for what it is. One of the nice new things in some of the newer versions of ChatGPT is they'll give you the resources. They'll give you where it's pulling this information from. Look at those links. evaluate the resources, but ask it, challenge it, have it explain itself, because that'll give you a lot more context. That's also how you can learn as you're continuing to use this. The be honest element, we talked about that from an ethical perspective earlier. Don't try to fool people that this is just you and it's all you when you're using all of everything. Always review. There's a term within AI that you're hearing more and more. It's called hallucinations. Essentially, it's just incorrect data or information that may not be correct because it understood something else from the averages. So just always review it, read through it, make sure that you understand this, that it represents what you're trying to get across. Never just copy paste and don't read it and review it and send it out, right? That can get you into some situations that I think could be really, really challenging and tricky. So it does have hallucinations. Michael, you were talking about, where does it pull this? It's pulling this from human data. It's
Yeah.
pulling averages of the information it's taking in. So it may not represent you. There are biases. I mean, there's been research on that if you tell it to be a CEO, it
Yeah.
will make the assumption more often than not, it
It's a
is now
man.
a white male,
Yeah.
because that's the information it's gotten. We know
Yeah.
that's not who we are wanting to become as a world, and we're trying to grow in a lot of ways. So it has these things. Know that. Make sure you're reviewing and understanding. What do you have to add to that, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, not only is it full of biases, but it has this program nature to please us, which in any time of your business, if you're surrounded by yes men, just think about you're not always getting the honest truth. And if we're going to have a digital assistant or an AI, let's be told the truth. And so one of the things you have to learn is it trying to give me the answer I want to hear, or is this accurate? Now, there is a prompt that I just pulled it up my screen, which is the number 2 prompt I've ever written in my entire life. And I don't know if that's on the next slide, but I'll be happy to share that. And you guys can screen grab this, but I just pulled it up real quick. This is the number 2 prompt that I've ever written in my life. Now take the contrary position, identify the key assumptions I'm making, present the strongest counter arguments, and reframe this through a completely different lens to reveal what I'm missing. So when you create anything, when you do an outline or you write a business plan, at the end of it, always write this prompt at the end of it and then read through it, and you will see unbelievable opportunities that come about that by doing that contrary thing.
For all of you that
Yeah, I can throw that in the chat.
Yeah, throw it
Yeah,
in
I
the
should be able to
chat,
throw it in the
and
chat.
I'll have Michael share it with me as well so we can attach it to the email that we follow up with. I did unshare just so you guys could see it a little bit better. But we'll share that with you to make sure you guys have access to it as well. So, all right. So this is the quote that I stole from you. I think when I think about prompting, this is the number one thing for me. AI is not a tool, it's a teammate. That's the quote I stole from Michael yesterday. I want you to think about this as, do not prompt once and expect your answer to be perfect right away. Think about it as a conversation. You're going back and forth, you're refining, you're asking deeper questions, you're challenging, you're maybe, oh shoot, I didn't get what I wanted, I want to correct, and I actually want more of this type of information or this data or this content. Actually, could you take all that and change the tone to this? Actually, here's more of the audience I'm wanting to write to. Can you adjust it for that? Just like you would have a conversation with somebody who's writing marketing content, doing all of those things. We want to make sure that you do that. So think of it like a teammate. Think of it like conversations back and forth. Don't think of it like a ask, answer, we're done. I think as soon as you do that, you're really missing the opportunities to get the best content possible.
Yeah, agreed.
Reflected for you. All
Agreed.
right, people are really clamoring for what's going to happen with video and those sort of things. So we're going to jump through this really quickly, but real fast. Here's why AI cannot replace you. Look at this data. Look at this. I think the blue one is amazing. 75% of customers want more real person interactions. The more they're chatting with bots, the more they're interacting with AI, the more we implement this, the more humanity we are actually wanting. There's a lot of studies that are going on with this. So just know that this is why it's not going to replace you. Trust is still the number one business currency. People buy more often because of trust than anything else. You cannot build trust from AI stuff, from AI. It's really good at building content. Humans are wired for connection. You are the one that's going to convert. You are the one that's going to connect. So just know that all of this cannot replace those elements. It can't replace the connection. It cannot replace some of those emotional triggers that are going on in our brain when we're actually interacting with another human. There's all sorts of things right now that I've been learning about as I've been researching with these AI bots and things, that people are literally talking with AI bots to try to feel less lonely because they don't have people to connect
Yep.
with.
Yep.
And one, that's sort of heartbreaking in itself a little bit. But they are finding that in this, it helps that immediate connection trigger that you want. It gives you that little bit of that dopamine rush. But really, it's making people long for more human interaction even more. It's making them lonelier the more they interact with those bots. So there's a lot of psychology we're going to continue to learn about this. Ultimately, know that you cannot be replaced in this. So I'm going to play this real quick. It's just a quick, less than 1 second video from Seth Godin, who is amazing thought leader in so many spaces, but he's kind of talking about this idea of bringing more humanity within using your AI. So let me actually make sure that when I reshared, I shared my sound because it would be really bad if you couldn't hear it at all. So, all right, here we go.
So if you embrace AI and say, this is a great way to cost reduce, this is a great way for me, this is a great way for me to, for example, never have to talk to a customer again, just drive them through an AI machine and reduce the cost of this and cost of this, you're now racing to the bottom. And the problem with the race to the bottom is you might win. The alternative is to say, I now have an infinite number of unpaid employees who will do tasks for me that I can define. How do I put those to use to bring humanity back into what I'm doing as a advantage? So the same way when electricity came along, you got machines to do what people used to do, but you ended up hiring more people with the money you made from the machines. That is what a lot of leaders are missing. You have to figure out how you're going to put more humanity into what you do, not less.
Yeah.
I mean, it really just hits home kind of everything we've been talking about.
I've never even seen that before, and it just makes me feel smart because if Seth,
he probably heard it from you, Michael. If I were to guess, I mean, he probably heard you say something.
It's so well put. It's so well put.
When he does, we can even try to share this link. He compares it a lot to when electricity came out and the powers of that versus the people that said, no, I'm not using electricity. I'm not going to take those things. Right. So it's really, really interesting. All right. So AI and video, AI and BombBomb. How does this all kind of tie together specifically for you guys? Here's how we are starting to think about it from a BombBomb perspective. And Michael, please challenge or reiterate on any of your feelings here. Again, this is the idea of how does AI enhance you with your videos rather than replace you out of the videos in general. So the way that we think about it is we think AI should really help you prepare. It should help you know what to say. It should help you be positioning your message well. It should help you create the next steps, the CTA. I coach this all the time. Getting them to watch and play the video is not the win. The win is starting the conversations, starting the connection, the relationship that moves towards a business resolution one way or the other, right? I think sometimes we get lost in those vanity metrics of like, great, they played my video, I did it. Well, what's happening next? Where are we going from here, right? That's the win for anybody that's in a sales environment, regardless of what industry you're in. So we think that we should be using AI to help us prepare and feel more confident in us being on video and recording the videos. The second thing is we think it should help you be understood more effectively, improve the quality of the video that you're sending out, remove distractions from the video itself so that you are being heard, seen, and understood in the best way you possibly can. And then the third way we're really looking at is AI should help the viewing experience, the recipient experience. How do we help them understand why they need to be watching the video? How does it build more excitement to click play? How does it help them build a deeper understanding of what they should be learning from this and what to do next? So again, these are all enhancing. It's not just saying, oh, you don't have to do a video anymore. No, the video is important, but what are the things that are going to help you kind of lean into that? So here's the coming soon, and I've been given strict instructions. I'm not allowed to show you screenshots or anything because we are still in development on these pieces. But these are all coming very, very soon. Within the next few weeks, we are going to be announcing, sending messages, so keep your eyes open for all of this. The first and foremost is AI speaker notes. What do you say? We were talking all the time. Michael was talking about how throwing the content, what you're wanting, where you're trying to get to into ChatGPT, and then using that as a script for your video. Guess what? You won't need to do that anymore because we're adding that directly into your BombBomb system. When you're on your record page, there's going to be a speaker notes where you can generate all of these bullet points, all of these things you want to discuss. You give us who you're reaching out to. You can select what kind of tone you want. Do you want bullet points? Do you want a script? We're going to allow you that content and we'll literally give you the pieces that you can print out. And then, of course, you can go in and edit it. It's not just like, okay, rinse and repeat, say this. You know, I'm big on put it in your own words. It has to be genuine and authentic to you. But if we can help you be more confident by you feeling like you're saying this in a great way, awesome. Our speaker notes are going to help you with. Now, one little caveat. These titles, I'm telling you so early, they're not even locked in stone yet. They will probably be named something different than this. So just know that. But these are the basis, the heart of the tools that are coming here. Video titles. One of the tools that we have heard time and time again that people don't use is the title of your video. Guess what? 9 times out of 10, that title is external facing. Your recipient will see that on your video player page in BombBomb.
Mobile upload, July 12th, 1999.
Yeah, totally, right? It says like the date. That's just the auto title we throw in for you. This is an amazing opportunity to
it's
build the
amazing.
value of your video, increase your video plays. We're going to help you with that. So now AI is going to take the transcription from your video and help you build a title for that will be effective and grab some attention for that. And guess what? I've been watching early tests on this. It's within seconds of you being done on your video, it's giving you a thing. And then you can go in and edit it and change it if you need to, of course. But man, it's really, really cool. And I've been watching some example videos and the titles it gives, and it's giving people some really great stuff that will then show up to add value to the video. That's that recipient experience. AI audio enhancement. One of the things we hear time and time again is I work in a loud environment. I do a lot on my mobile app. I'm out. We work with a lot of home builders that are walking around construction sites. People can't hear me. Michael, you joked about this yesterday. There is nothing worse. There is nothing that will make people stop watching a video quicker than bad audio. I don't care if it's 4K resolution, right?
Yeah, I taught video for years and years and years, and just not BombBomb, just video in general. And the amount of time that people think about the audio compared to think about the actual video always shocked me, because
Yeah.
I would rather be able to hear at 480p than not hear at 4K.
Yeah,
it's not even
totally
close.
Yep. Yeah, we're willing to accept that it may not be perfect picture because you can still see and understand who that human is. If you can't hear them, people are done. People will close that every time. So we are building in audio enhancements that you can either do pre-recording that helps limit background noise, helps really hone in on your voice, or you can go into pre-recorded videos and up and down that and toggle that on and some of those sort of things. So again, enhancing you, making sure that your message is clearly heard and understood and not being replaced by cars driving by or honking or whatever, the 15 other salespeople that are on the floor with you, whatever it may be, is coming up. And then the last one that is coming really, really soon. And again, this is first iteration. BombBomb is now, with our new launch of BombBomb Engage, we're on an 8-week cycle. We are going to be launching content constantly. So these are the only ones I'm allowed to tell you about right now, but this is just like the first drop in the bucket here. But AI summaries. How do we take your video and the transcription that you're giving us and summarize it so that we've got a little paragraph about what this video is about? One, it's going to help you a lot internally as you build up your video library. Michael, you've got thousands of videos that you've done. I've got a bunch. Sometimes you go, shoot, I don't even remember what this video was about. And now you can go read this quick summary and go, boom, that's easy. I've got it. It's also going to be something that you can have publicly facing on the video player page, again, to enhance those video plays.
I think, you know what, out of all the features, Kevin, this is the one I'm most excited about, because I'm usually talking fairly technical things to my client. Hey guys, remember we got building inspection next Tuesday at 4:00. Once I've said that, if I fail to put it in the email, a summary will likely, and I'm thinking about AI, will likely highlight those things like time, date, location, in the summaries as those sort of highlights. I'm really excited for AI summaries, forward-facing AI summaries. That just puts a synopsis on it. It'd be interesting how it impacts video plays. But I think the ultimate thing is if they know it's personal and they're developing value there, I think it's going to be a phenomenal tool. Tool.
We're really excited about it. There's a lot of cool stuff coming with it. And again, our philosophy in general, as we keep asking, we don't want to just do AI just for the sake of adding AI. Yes, there's a lot of pressure on that you got to keep up, you got to add it in, and people are wanting and asking for that. But we want to be super intentional on how do we give you the tools that are going to help you feel confident, be effective, enhance you in those videos rather than replace you. We really don't want to erase any of those pieces.
Yeah, there's a lot of shiny AI stuff there that, buzzwordy stuff opposed to being effective. And once again, I think of those 4 things on the screen for me, Kevin. It's like, oh, this all enhances my ability to communicate one-on-one with my client. It lets me make it very clear and concise. Like someone wrote there in the comment, my average video is 12 seconds. That's great because you're very, very good at what you want to say. The worst thing is a 3-minute video that could have been 30 seconds. And so speaker notes gets you to the point, makes it personal, gets to the answer. The titles is huge. The audio, as you know, is huge in the summary. So all these things make me better, make my personal relationship with the person on the other side of the communication better. It's not, there's no one, like you said at the beginning, this is not about replace, it's about enhance. And you guys have knocked it out of the park there.
So last thing I just want to summarize on this. I know we're almost at the top of the hour. Like Michael said, we'll stick around for a few minutes here, answer any questions. So throw stuff in Q&A, throw stuff in chat that you guys have questions for. I see a lot of things in chat about some teleprompter pieces, some of those sort of things. Trust me, we hear you. We know that's been something that people have been asking for a long time. There's a lot more than just going, oh, that would be great, because teleprompters can be really tricky to use well as well. And we don't want to set people up to look like robots reading a script on their videos too. So thank you for sharing that. Now, I want to reiterate this, and then I want to show you next steps, because one of the things that's really important is if you have input, like I want a teleprompter, like I want some of these pieces, like I would like this AI tool, guess what? This is one of the best ways you can help, is be a part of the solution. I'm putting a link here to an Airtable form that you can go in and literally tell us, I want this information. This feeds directly to our product team. The more of one thing that we see, the more we're going to pay attention to it. So let your voice be heard. I think that's one of the amazing elements of, for you that are coming to these webinars, are being part of the conversation, are listening, is you can go, I want to let you at BombBomb know what I want that would help me. We listen to that. We read that. I sit in meetings where we look at the responses that come into these. So please be a part of the solution. Help us build the right product for you by giving us that information. Use that link, click on it, go access it, because we want to hear it. The other second piece to that as well is, if you've got questions, I'm going to literally give you guys my email right now. This email comes straight to my inbox. If you have questions, have input, you want something, send an email to training@bombbomb.com. I have direct access to that email. It will come straight to me. Let me know what you need, what you want. We want to make sure that we're listening to you guys, because that's what if we're not building something that's helpful for you, then we're not doing it right. So we want to make sure that we're hearing you. So be a part of that solution. If you're a current user of BombBomb, keep your eyes open for emails and notifications. Keep your eyes open for these announcements. Don't just delete BombBomb emails, because that's where we're going to start to tell you, this is live now. This is coming here. These are the dates. Like I said, right now, roadmap, we're looking a couple weeks to the next month. We should have all of this stuff live. Things change, so don't hold me to that, because we want to make sure we do it right rather than launch it as soon as possible. So keep your eyes open for that sort of stuff. If you are new to BombBomb, hop over to bombbomb.com, sign up for a 14-day trial. You'll get into the basics of our new BombBomb Engage platform that all of this is going to be launched with, added with, so you can explore any of those things, because we want to make sure that you have the ability to go in. It's 14 days. You can explore, send as many videos out as you want. You get access to automated stuff, the enterprise platform, all sorts of different levels of it, so that you can play and see, how does this fit with you specifically. I've seen a lot of notes about captions, closed captions. Guess what? BombBomb actually has closed captions. It depends on the membership that you're on. So send that, put that in the Airtable. I want captions. We need to see this. The more we see it, the more we're going to make sure that it's in the right places for all of you to use it in the right ways. So with that being said, if you need to jump off and get out of here, totally understand. It's 11:03. We went a few minutes long. Michael and I are going to hang out and keep answering some questions and talking with everybody as well. But thank you, those of you that need to jump, for being here. Like I said, I was telling Michael this before we even jumped on, and he knows because he's one of them. We have the best people in the world. We were talking before we started this webinar on how good people are, even in this crazy environment that the world is in right now. People are really, really good. And I believe that wholeheartedly with all of you. The people that come to BombBomb and that love BombBomb and that lean into us are the best people in the world. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. With that being said, let's jump into some questions and things. First, easy one, Michael. We got one from Lindsay. What mic are you using? She was curious about your microphone.
It's overkill. It's the Shure SM7B.
There you go.
Michael Jackson record Thriller on it. No, not this particular one, but this one.
I was going to be like, dang, where'd you get that? I mean, when we get into the technical stuff, you can go all over the place.
Oh, yeah. I think
dollars on microphones.
By the way, let me be very, very clear about that. That's a good point. I am in a very expensive studio right now. It's my garage. but this is my studio. The best bomb bombs, and go look at my account, are me at the rink at 5 o'clock in the morning, me walking my dog, me walking into the grocery store and firing off something instantly. The more it is not this structured plan communication, the more it is timely and where there's something that the other person can connect to, because you're at your son's little league game and it's in between innings and their son also plays sports. I mean, there is something about it. I think we overthink it. The less polished my BombBomb is, the better. I'm here because I respect this is going to be recorded and put out on YouTube, and you want to hear and see me. But I wouldn't come out to the studio to shoot a video. I'd go into my backyard and sit with my dog to shoot a video to a client. Just so you know.
I've gotten some of those and I love them. You've
Yeah.
even said some, hey, I'm just out on a walk with the dog. And I thought I just wanted to make sure I replied to you and answered that. So yes, I think there's both elements of it. And shout out to you, Michael. Andy just threw in the chat. He's like, I work for sure and I deal with pro equipment all the time. Your backdrop is about the best I've ever seen.
Wow.
So
Thanks.
big thumbs up to Michael. You're killing it in your garage studio.
In my garage.
But also know, absolutely take Michael's recommendation, because obviously great mic, his sound is crystal clear. You can also upgrade your mics for $50 and you can get something that might be a little better than just your laptop or whatever. Or I'll tell you this, I've been using these a lot, literally corded headphones. Plug them into your computer, plug them in. No one's going to care about the cord. No one's going to judge you or worry about it. Again, that sound is so important. So whether you've got a nice Rode, Shure camera microphone, doesn't really matter. Well, it does to a degree, but also don't feel like you have to go overboard on spending tons of money. No, you don't need to. Those authentic.
Yes, and you know what, Dennis just said it. Like, stop overthinking.
Yeah.
And what people are doing is like, oh, if I just had Michael's microphone, I could start setting bomb bombs. Oh, if I just had Michael's camera, that's.
And you know what I found too? Just last thought on this, then we'll jump to the next. I have actually found the fancier equipment I get, the more hurdles I've now created to create videos. Right. Now you've got this studio that you've got to flip lights on and connect microphones and do all this fancy stuff. I had just made it harder for myself to get the simple things. So there was another question about lavalier mics. I mean, I don't know that we need to get deep into that. I've literally bought a cheap lavalier mic that plugs into my iPhone that I've walked around and used for $20 on Amazon, and it helped. It was definitely better than nothing. I don't know that you need to go spend hundreds of dollars on a lavalier. Have you used those at all, Michael? Do you have any specific?
Yeah, and what you'll find is the iPhone microphone at an arm's distance is really kind of great. You add a little AI enhancement on top of it. You're just complicating things, in my opinion.
Quick answer here. We've had a couple of Q&As. Is this being recorded? Absolutely. I forgot to reiterate that with the closing. We are recording this. We will send that out in a few days here. We also always upload those to our YouTube channel, so you can go kind of peek at those as well. So don't hesitate to do that. I'm going to look up one question that came a long time ago and that we never really were able to circle back to, but back to the AI topic here. You mentioned AI agent. And somebody said, could you clarify on exactly what that represents?
Yeah, so it's a great question, because I think a lot of real estate agents hear that and they go, it's about us, and it's not. There are 5 stages of artificial intelligence as defined by OpenAI. Stage 1 is chatbots, stage 2 is reasoners, stage 3 is AI agents, 4 is innovators, and stage 5 is enterprise. Stage 1 is chatbots. That was the AHA November 2022. You ask a question, you get an answer. You ask a question, you get an answer. And where that changed was September of last year when we moved into stage 2, which is reasoners. So reasoners are very different. You used to ask ChatGPT a question. What letter does the word, what letter starts the word apple? The answer is A. It's very quick. But if I ask Kevin right now, what is the month and the day that is 43 days before your birthday, but you got to answer right away, he likely will get it wrong. But if I let Kevin have 1 minute to think about it, to use his intelligence, he will get the answer right. And that's where we're now with these thinking models. These models that not only rely on its knowledge it was trained on, but use some energy and some compute time to make sure it's giving you the right answer, to think before it gives you the answer. We are now walking into stage 3, which is AI agents. And AI agents is what's going to absolutely disrupt, transform opportunity, whatever your business. And right now, large language models, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, I use them all. I have paid accounts on all of them. Um, and not because you need them, because I have to keep an eye on this because I'm presenting on this all the time. It requires you to ask a question to get an answer, for you to ask a question to get an answer. And it's this ping pong back and forth with artificial intelligence. AI agents will take action on their own, right? And so every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, an AI agent's going to go read all the news that's happening in your industry and look at your website and propose the best possible blog posts for your website. It will then take that information and send it off to a researcher AI agent who will research that topic, who will then pass that research on to a outline writer AI agent that will write the outline, pass it on to a copywriter, send it off to an editor, back to the copywriter, back to the editor, back to the copywriter, back to the editor, and then into your inbox for your approval. It will take action on its own. When an email comes in, it will automatically write a draft and put it in the draft box for you. And so these things will work on their own and take independent action like a human, not like an automation like Zapier, with thought. And now imagine your business with 75 of these, with 100 of these. And that's where we are right now. AI agents will happen throughout 2025. In fact, ChatGPT just launched agents. Deep research, tasks, which is incredible, operator, which was a bit of a flop. Those were their three first little releases inside to agentic behavior. But AI agents will absolutely transform every industry, every job throughout 2025 and 2026. So in a nutshell, that's what AI
How long
agents
till
is.
they're chasing us around like Will Smith and iRobot, Michael? How close are we to these agents?
Listen, I say really nice things about AI. In case they do come, I want them to think I'm one of the good
Yeah,
ones.
there you go. We've already decided my wife's going to be the first to go because her and Alexa get in a lot of fights with each other. So
Well, and that's the thing is, like, that's the thing about yeah, I don't understand to you right now.
she's
But
probably
here's
listening.
the thing about the problem with like Alexa and Google Homes and why this is so amazing. And there's a lot of people that are hesitant to use AI because their experience is Alexa. Like, I have to say it absolutely perfect to my Google Home for it to change the temperature on my Nest thermostat in my hallway. If I forget to say hallway thermostat, it doesn't do it. Where AI, if you kind of, sort of, be able to articulate what you want, it will do it. And I think a lot of older people with technology are going to find it very, very useful because they don't need to know the secret sequence to get Siri to finally do that one thing that she's supposed to do. There's so much more human natural language in this that the reason why there's no barrier to entry is because you just need to kind of be able to articulate. And so when there's people out there that saying, when should I use artificial intelligence? Ask yourself, if the task I'm about to work on could be done faster or better with an expert sitting across the table from me. If the answer is no, writing a CMA in real estate or doing something simple or writing a Google review because you're the best writer, no, it can't be done better or faster. But if the answer is yes, then for a week, sit across the table from a social media expert or from a business planning expert. Like, you're sitting across the table from an expert now, and you don't need to know about coding to say, can you please simply code a little thing for my website? You and it'll just say, well, what do you want? And I want this, but you don't need to be a coder. You just need to know how to talk like a human. And
Yeah.
that's what's so exciting about this technology is you don't need to know the tricks or the menus or the shortcuts or nothing. Just have to say it kind of well, like a human would, and it'll get it done. And that's why this is moving so fast, is that it's so easy to get what you want out of it because it understands what we mean and it doesn't think about the words literally.
That makes sense. I hear that. All right, I'm trying to scroll through because I don't want to take too much more time from people. We're already about 15 minutes over. So I'm trying to review some of the questions. We're definitely getting some technical ones about cameras and lighting and some of those sort of things. But I want to see if there's any more. One of the questions we had, and we don't need to get as deep into this because it's not video directly, but somebody asked about like data analysis and some of those sort of things. Have you used it for that regard?
Tons of times.
Yeah.
We use it for a lot of data analysis, internally and forward facing. Its ability now with some of these smarter models, Claude 4, Opus, O3, real estate's a very data driven business, or there's opportunities in that data, but like anything, we get like the US stats or the Midwest stats. And I want to know what's happening in the townhouse market in my little neighborhood versus the neighborhood next door. And its ability to analyze data and see trends that are so invisible to the naked eye. I mean, you just think about the calculations it's making. It's making a million calculations in a minute where you could do like one every 10 minutes. Like it's amazing for data analysts. It understands CSV files. It understands those things. It can put it together in incredible, beautiful dashboards that can be embedded in emails or whatever it is. Data analysis is an absolute incredible use case for AI.
So Brett was even asking, he does a lot and he's grinding through Excel. This could be a great way, again, review it, double check it. If you're a data analyst, it's not going to be better than you, but it can build really good baselines and give you some assumptions and some things to look at more clearly. Like, I would never trust it holistically with what it gives you back. Like, use your expertise to review it, but it can help you work through all sorts of things. Give me some trends. Will you clean up any redundancies in this to make sure that it's clarifying and condensing? There's a lot of first step stuff you can do that's incredible.
If you're a data analyst, think about the $200 an hour work that you do with data. It's not cleaning up the cells and the tables to make sure that they're labeled properly, or this cell only has 30% of them filled in. Let's not analyze that cell or that column because there's not enough information there. Like the cleanup that it can do for you so you can analyze it. Like that's $10 an hour work that AI will do, so you can do more of the $200 an hour work. It was actually analyzing the data. The cleaning up of data it can do is remarkable.
Yeah, it's great. All right, with that, we're already 15 minutes over, so I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Last thing here, Michael. I've had a couple people chat in and ask, hey, where can we follow you? Where can we find you? What's the best place for people if they want to just see what Michael's talking about, what you're speaking on? You speak on so many different things on so many different platforms. What's a great resource where they can kind of keep in touch with you?
I'm putting a lot of content. I've got an amazing, beautiful partnership with Buffini and Company, which is in the real estate, mortgage, and insurance space. I'm putting a lot of content out with them. I'm speaking with them a lot. They're phenomenal. I'm not super huge on social anymore. I am on social, but I'm one-to-one video person all the time. I spend a lot of time inside my Facebook Messenger. As Kevin knows. So if you do want to reach out to me and you have a question, the place that you will find me is inside my Facebook Messenger. I am you know what? Let me just put it in the chat.
All right, I'll give you a second to find it and chat it in there.
No, I just don't. Sometimes people, that's where you'll find me at Messenger. The letter I, the letter M. Michael Thorne. I wasn't thinking through it when I said I am, and the people are like, is it I am? Is it I?
Oh yeah. Is it I'm? Is
it okay, yeah, I'll share the prompt again. I put it out there, but I will share it again right now so you guys can have it. A challenging prompt. Perfect. And I've got some amazing prompts, but this one, I tell you, you run this a couple times, it is phenomenal. So if there's a question that's really, really burning that we didn't get to, track me down on Facebook Messenger.
You're amazing. And you guys, I'm copying that prompt down as well so we can send it in the follow-up content just so you guys have that little tip as we go. Thank you all for being here. I mean, we've still got a couple hundred people sticking it out.
You know what? You know what? I don't see the prompt because I was sending that just to host and panelists.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know.
I'll paste it. I literally have it copied right there.
Okay, and then yeah, that's right. And can you throw my I am Michael Thorne? Sorry guys, that's why you didn't see it beforehand. If you want to put the I am Michael Thorne.
All right, there. So there's the Facebook.
Awesome.
I'm Michael Thorne. Thank you all for being here. Michael, I can't thank you enough. I mean, we've known each other for years now, but man, every time I talk with you, I learn something new. You bring an excitement, an energy, an expertise, a joy to conversations that is infectious and wonderful. And I'll tell you this, rare. Not everybody has those qualities. So I hope you hear that, and I hope you know that, and just know, man, not only do you bring value, but you help everybody feel seen and understood, and like they can go out and conquer the world. So thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. And by the way, best thing I've ever done for my business with BombBomb. If anyone's watching this, already who haven't signed up. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand people that stand at the sales thing at BombBomb don't get it. It is the number one tool I've ever implemented in my business without a doubt. The number one tool.
Well, I didn't even pay him to say that, everybody.
Nope.
So
No, I've never been paid. Never been paid
not
by
once, not a
BombBomb.
penny. All right, everybody, thank you so much. We love having you as part of the BombBomb family. We appreciate you. We see you. Fill out that form that I put the link to. If you need to reach out to me and send me some feedback, training@bombbomb.com. Otherwise, let us know what we can do to help you. Let us know how we can support you. Get out there, record some videos, play with some AI stuff to enhance those videos. We'll be sending the recording out in a few days. Have a wonderful rest of your July. We can't wait to see you next month. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.